somebody getting an echo. Are the rest of y'all getting an echo? Can you guys hear me? Someone said that they're getting an echo. Are you guys getting an echo? Give me a 1 if the audio is clear. Oh, you know what I think I got? Hold on. Why is it an echo? What's going? I don't know why there is an echo. Oh, there's no echo? Oh. Okay, everybody's saying it's giving me a 1. You sound great, it's the music. I don't know why the music echoing. How's going? How's going? Okay, is the audio clear now? I turned the background music off. Oh, it's gonna be a lot on Don Lemon today, baby. So if you Don Lemon sensitive, you might want to haul ass, babes. If you're Don Lemon sensitive, you might want to haul ass, because it's gonna be a lot on Miss Lemon today, girl, because I'm getting it all out. I don't give a fuck. Is it a 1? Alright. Y'all sure? Because y'all know, girl, y'all be buying them Dollar Tree AirPods and stuff, child. I'm here for it. All right. You guys already know what the hell we're here to get into. Before we do so, please go ahead and run those likes all the way up. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the St. Joe area. So whether you're part of the Replay Gang, active for me in real time, or you are old nasty piece of bush, babe, I need you to swing and bang and bullet the hell out of that like feature like no other. It don't cost you nothing, and we ain't got no weirdos over here, okay? So raise hell on that like feature. If you enjoy everything that Kane does here, you can always donate to the platform at $Consciouztv on Cash App and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. Of course, that's Conscious spelled with the Z, just like it is here on the channel. It's Conscious with the Z across all social media and digital streaming platforms. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below, as well as scrolling from right to left at the bottom of this here live screen. Last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be your YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give no damn where you in fact. Lay the link. Just let them whores know that we're live, and we're certainly in calling. With no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Conscious crew, child, happy Thursday, girl. It is storming. I would go live while it is thundering, girl. Mother Nature trying to tear down all them damn flop cameras, trying to tear down all them damn GMO ass laboratory grown ass farms that Elon Musk and Bill Gates and things is creating, child, baby. It is going down like Noah's flood outside. I hope I don't have no damn connection issues, girl. We might be here for a good time, but definitely not a long time. Yeah, because my Wi-Fi always is the first to go when the gods going to make it rain in this thing. What's going on, Poetic Flacco? Poetic Flacco, your ass always in some shit. It's like for every step you take forward, your ops, baby, try to pull you back 10 miles back. I can't never turn on my home page without some damn expose on Poetic the Flacco. What the hell you got going on, Poetic? Shout out to Poetic Flacco, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to Poetic's platform, child. He's always into things, just like the Consciouztv. What's going on, Conscious Crew? Hey, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and get straight into the thizzle, child. We got to kick it off with Miss Sidney Starr, Miss Sidney Fallen Star. You guys know that we broke news that Miss Sidney Starr, transgender reality TV star, best known for her controversy and fucking up the rapper's Chingy entire damn life and career, girl. He ain't been on a Hot 100 since. He can't even make the gospel charts after she claimed, girl, that they were romantically tied. She's also been fluid on platforms like Zeus Networks, Baddies, as well as Now That's TV. And now that ass is in an orange jumpsuit as a result of 3 different charges, girl, of aggravated child molestation, sodomy on a child, and being inappropriate with a minor under the age of 16. There's a lot of things that we expect of Miss Sidney Starr, but being a pedophile and a rapist and a disgusting piece of was definitely not in any of our bingo cards for Miss 2026, okay? She is locked up down there in a Georgia detention center. She is in the vulnerable population. For those of you who were wondering where they placed Sidney Starr, was she in the male's facility? Was she in the female's facility? She's in vulnerable population, okay? So she's in the purgatory part of now, because Sidney Starr has had some gender reassignment surgery, such as her breast done. I'm pretty sure that she's not going to be placed with the males for obvious reasons. It's going to cause a lot of ruckus. She's going to be subjected to the very same behavior that she subjected this teenager to. Okay, some of y'all may find that deserving, but you know, the war and the COs don't need all that damn ruckus. So she'll more than likely be placed in the women's unit. I don't know if Georgia has a special unit for LGBT folk. I know that some states do have a LGBT ward. But you know, we're not there yet. We'll make it all the way there. All right. But she is in and amongst vulnerable population. As you guys are coming in, please run the likes all the way up. Now, there's a particular charge that carries very, 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 very high sentencing, and that is the aggravated child molestation charge, which is a charge that carries 25 years to life if Sidney Starr is convicted, you guys. So Miss Sidney Starr may never see the goddamn light of day, girl. She is fighting for her life, all right? Check this out. Here's why Sidney Starr is facing life in prison. Authorities allege that Sidney Starr was arrested earlier this week in a case involving a teenage boy. Although Sidney is no longer in custody, the criminal case remains pending. Under Georgia law, if prosecutors prove the elements of aggravated child molestation involving sodomy with a child under 16, the offense can carry a potential sentence of life imprisonment or a split sentence of 25 years to life, followed by lifetime probation. Those penalties apply only if the specific charge is proven in court. From a criminal law standpoint, an arrest is not a conviction. Prosecutors must prove every element of the charge offense beyond a reasonable doubt before any sentence can be imposed. All right. Now, this article says she's no longer in custody. She's still in custody, and she will remain in custody until her pre-indictment hearing on the 25th of this month. Now, you guys know in our last report, we showed some of the reactions from some of her peers, such as T.S. Madison. Y'all hear all this lightning? I know my Wi-Fi is going to go out. It's going to go out, girl. It's literally raining dicks and pussies outside, girl. Like, God is mad as hell. Okay, can y'all hear all that? Can y'all hear all that thundering and cackling? My God. That's my ancestors, girl, standing behind me. Her peers spoke out. Judy from Bad Girls Club season 7 spoke out. She's wishing all of death on this bitch. You guys know her and Judy had a close relationship. They were roommates at one point in time. That relationship soured really bad, and it's been up and stuck since. Sidney's mother also spoke out and said she's standing behind her daughter, in the words of Evelyn Lanzada, and that she does not believe that her daughter would do such a thing to a child. Now, there has been more information that has seemingly come out about the circumstances surrounding this incident between her and this minor. We're going to unfortunately pull up Trasha Coochie K, who had a guest on to speak about the circumstances. Apparently this guest is close or has spoken to the family of the minor that was involved and came on to Trasha Coochie K's platform to give more details, which was closely in sync with the unverified Facebook post that I told you guys about in my breaking news coverage, but I couldn't corroborate that because nobody else was saying it but this random Facebook page. But what that Facebook page said is close to what this young lady that we're about to listen to also said about the situation and the circumstances. Also, Sidney Starr is attempting to clarify that she did not intentionally pursue a 13-year-old. She is claiming that she thought that this young person was at the age of 18. My God, today. And this is coming from arrest warrants. There are 3 different arrest warrants that provide more details. Shout out to Docket Diva. And as you guys can see here in the circled statement here, Sidney was advised of the Miranda Act, confessed to intentionally making physical contact with the victim's genital, and stated that it was consensual. Okay? So she seemingly admitted to investigators that she did make actual contact with this individual. She claims that nothing inappropriate. She claims that this was not rape, okay? Under the law, minors cannot consent. It doesn't matter whether they pursue you. It doesn't matter if they don't run away from the event. It doesn't matter if they are willfully participating under the law. Not according to the minor. Under the law. It doesn't matter what the attitude of the minor is. Under the law. The law! My God, today. A minor cannot consent, and that is not a viable excuse before the court of law. That, oh, I was pursued. Oh, well, this was mutual pleasure. There's no such thing as mutuality when it comes to a minor. However, Sidney is claiming that she thought this was an 18-year-old. Unless this damn 13-year-old is off of a Marvel timeline, I'm not sure how anyone can mistake a 13-year-old for an 18-year-old. That is a stretch beyond imagination. Milky Ways, galaxies, UFOs, and planetary bodies. From 13 to 18 is a wild quantum leap, if so we will. And I'm sure that that's not something that the courts are going to take as a viable excuse as well. They're definitely going to hammer her, especially since 2 persons verifications are the adult's responsibility. Every last single one of us has a burden of ensuring that people that we are dating and people that we are hooking up with are of legal age, baby. So y'all bets to get to asking for some DNA, some damn birth certificates, some damn licenses, some state IDs around her, okay? Because if 13-year-olds can be mistaken for 18-year-olds, bitch, America is in trouble, all right? But the burden is on you. Now, more information has come out as well regarding this disgusting ordeal. Sidney Starr claims that, I'm reading from Baller Alert, claims that she thought the teenager was 18, and then cops, okay, The cops who responded to this whole ordeal said that an open condom fell from her motherfucking clothes during arrest. Could you imagine getting arrested, bitch, at the embassy suite, fighting for your life to persuade authorities that you are innocent, bitch, and then the utmost of evidence falls right out of your damn pussy hole, baby. The condom itself. My today. Could you guys imagine that? Could you imagine being a criminal? Caught dead in the act, trying to persuade authorities that you are innocent, bitch, and then key DNA evidence falls right out of your ass crack in front of the damn authorities. It was almost as if Sidney Starr was meant to be caught, bitch. Like, God needed that. Had to have that. God wanted that. Bitch, that was a setup from all cooperating components within the universe, bitch. My God. So she's cooked, girl. Okay, this was divinely orchestrated. Heaven is sick. Alright? So, unfortunately, I don't know what Sidney Starr's mama gonna do, baby. She over there gonna stand behind her baby. I mean, what you gonna do, baby? Stand behind, Boss? What, stand on the other side of the wall? What you gonna do? Stand on the other side of J-Pay and Securus, baby? Huh? What you gonna do, girl? Stand on the other side of the waiting room? My God. You know? Her mother's gonna be heartbroken because, baby, I don't see any chance of Miss Sidney Starr coming motherfucking home. And coming home to what, baby? Her career, what was left of her D- career, girl, is a wrap, girl. Even Zeus Network can't even remix this shit, okay? They may be able to transform a colorist. They may be able to even do something with a misogynist, with a DV'er. But baby, even they can't even pull a reverse Uno and transmute this. So, she might as well stay where the hell she at. Okay? One of her peers said she in there looking like, this is covered by fair use.
Tell that this boy was young.
Yeah, you can hear it. I talked to the little boy on the phone, you can hear it. I am a mother of a 12-year-old. You can hear it in his voice. He's a baby. And the kid saying while they on the elevator, sitting like, do you carry condoms? Asking this little boy.
What did the little boy say to you?
He was just explaining because I was talking to the sister. He was in the background. And you could tell he didn't want to talk too much, but he was just saying that how it was uncomfortable and how she was telling him to come here at the bar. Just telling me little, how it happened. More so like.
So she solicited him while she was at the bar. And what was his mom and sister at the time?
The mom, the sister said they just let the kids, I think they were checking in. They were checking in 1 to 3. So everybody was kind of there early. You get what I'm saying? They couldn't check in, but Sidney Starr had a room because I requested it.
So did the boy know he was going up to the room to have sex possibly, or thought it was?
I don't know, but I would think he knew because she was asking him on the elevator about condoms. And then when she went in there, they said she gave him oral sex. I think when she tried to penetrate him, or she did, I don't know. Because the sister said they did it with a kid. So.
Okay, but real question.
My God, today. This is a hot, atrocious ass mess. As I told y'all before, baby, keep your eye on your goddamn children, baby. I don't give a damn whether you're at Disneyland, Disney Island, Disney World, Disney Planet, Disney Solar System. Keep your eye out on your children, baby. People done turn their eye on their kids at the grocery store for a box of rice-a-roni, baby, and child is missing, gone, bitch. Been on a milk cart since, okay? All it takes is a few seconds, baby. Don't let the ass go to the bathroom by themselves. God damn! Calm down, Mother Nature. A bitch trying to work here. This don't sound like no regular thunder to me, baby. Is it piece of the damn moon falling, bitch? Ain't Elon Musk done sent a damn city-sized rocket up there? Is the moon falling? Can somebody go outside and make sure, bitch, that the moon ain't falling and crashing into the damn earth, baby? This don't sound like no damn natural thunder. It don't be thundering like this. She need to calm it down. Keep your eye out on your children. Alright? I don't give a damn whether you gotta put a doggy leash on their ass, give their ass kibbles and bits, baby. Okay? That's better than letting their ass run into the damn arms of Miss Sidney Starr, because there's always a Sidney Starr sitting and waiting somewhere, baby. Actually parent, okay? Vacation and being at the embassy suite don't mean, baby, that you get to take time off. Alright? Of parenting. Cause soon as you think, bitch, mama gonna be poolside stress-free, girl, the damn FBI gonna be at your door trying to figure out which floor R. Kelly got your motherfucking minor on. Alright? So keep your children close. My God, today. Now let's move it along to Miss Don Lemon. Now the other day, I took to my social media post, my community wall specifically. And I was thinking, I said, you know, CTV, do you want to do this? Do you want to give this commentary, baby? Or do you just want to wait until the saxophones exhaust themselves and get as loud as they can and then say something? 2 days ago, I said, Don Lemon is really starting to rub me a particular way, and I hate that for me because I already don't like nobody and rarely find people I enjoy watching. But the saxophones are getting louder on the creek for Don Lemon. So I am not one of those YouTubers who watch other YouTubers because I'm always looking for stories and outsourcing for content. So I don't be having time to just be a fan and to just be sitting around watching other goddamn commentators because I got shit to do myself, okay? Now, if a commentator is covering some shit that I'm interested in, then that's typically when I watch other commentators. Outside of that, I'm watching media outlets, I'm watching news outlets, I'm watching documentaries, etc. But Don Lemon is one of the damn maybe 3 people that I am able and actually look forward to actually watching. And I really started getting into Don Lemon maybe last year, okay? And I think he's been doing an excellent job transitioning from corporate media to independent media and independent journalism, and you're definitely getting another side of Don Lemon. He's able to be a bit more raw. He's able to use cuss words, even though his cuss words have raisins and it's potato salad. And lately, though, Don Lemon seems to be getting tired of some aspect of what he does. And I can tell, baby. A few days ago, he took to his audience and said that he was kind of wanting to spice things up and maybe add a Wendy Williams element to his platform. Ironically, right after that, Funky Dineva was brought on and set it off, and we ain't seen his ass since. After calling Daniel, one of Don Lemon's employees and boots to the ground correspondents, a house ninja to his face. Alright? And then after that, shit just kept getting messy. And I'm like, okay. In the words of Carrie Hilton, baby, you turning me off, Miss Lemon. So, the first thing that turned me the fuck off when it came to Don Lemon was him allowing Funky Dineva to call Daniel, his house ninja, a house ninja. Okay? Don Lemon should have at least got in there and said, he ain't just any old house ninja, Funky. He's my house ninja. Not even that, okay? I thought it was unnecessary for Funky Dineva to escalate the damn conversation that way. Y'all know we already had this conversation, so we ain't got to have it again. Y'all know how I feel. I found it ghetto, okay? Because the conversation was going really well between these two people that seemingly kind of stood on opposite ends of the perspective regarding the Nolan Wells case, okay? But then when Funky Dineva pivoted to his TGIF behavior, baby, it almost costed all three of their ass a six-figure salary. My God, today. So that was very interesting to see play out. Then it was Don Lemon following that show up by having Charles and his hairline on from TMZ. And it was Don Lemon. What's going on, Mrs. Sweet Spot? Hey, boo. It was Don Lemon, Daniel, and Charles. And at this time, this is when the audio for the Ceto call had been enhanced. And you could hear seemingly Nolan Wells' name being shouted in the background, and is he dead and all of this. So they brought TMZ on, who originally published the Ceto call. And Charles was saying, well, I don't really think I hear all of that. I think that what they are referring to is the pump and various parts of the boat that they're on, which was very odd to me because in the enhanced audio, you can literally hear the people in the background saying he and him. Is he dead? You killed him. You can hear people saying, wake the fuck up. So for me, it didn't make sense that they were referring to an inanimate object on the boat. Clearly, they're referring to a human at the very least, even if you don't believe that they're referring to Nolan Wells, whose name you can hear them apparently yell and call. And instead of Don saying just that, instead of Don saying, all right, Charles. Now that's a stretch, sir, okay? They're clearly not referring to an inanimate object on the boat. They're, at the very least, referring to a person for sure. Can we at least agree on that? Even if you don't believe that they are referring to Nolan, even if you don't believe that there's nobody injured and dead on the goddamn boat, can we at the very least agree that they are referring to a person? Because nobody used he and him, she and her, and human pronouns on inanimate objects. Instead of Don saying that, oh, no. He was nodding his head. Him and Daniel. I was rather perplexed that Mr. Leading Media, who is trying to monopolize on the Nolan Wells case, and, you know, it's after the truth, at the very least, wasn't going to correct and attempt to wrestle with a perspective from Charles that just seemed so contrasting from the fucking obvious. But Don allowed Charles to get away with it, and Don nodded his head, seemingly in agreement that this was a viable alternative and perspective to what we were hearing in the background. I was bewildered. Totally and utterly bewildered, okay? So that was the second thing. Then it was Don Lemon having Nolan Wells' parents on. They were traveling in some type of a vehicle with Ben Crump headed somewhere. This was when news had broke out that the state appointed autopsy had been complete and finished. And so Don Lemon had the parents on to speak on that. Now, at this time, Officer Tatum, aka Officer Raccoon, you know, he got it going on. He interviewing Nolan's friends, etc. There's seemingly tensions between Don and Tatum and D.L. Hughley, who is good friends with Don. You know, and it's one thing if Don wants to acknowledge Tatum, which I also feel like is a distraction. But I was very, very, very shocked when Don had the luxury of having Nolan's mother on. Knowing that she's grieving, knowing that she's already dealing with a lot of trolling, she's trying to maneuver through a very complicated investigation and trying to keep her wits and her spirit about herself, and would ask her and try to bait her into responding to Officer Tatum's absolute buffoonery. I thought it was insensitive. I thought it was deaf tone. I thought it was clickbaity. And once again, I found myself shocked because I'm like, in what world do you think it's appropriate to have this mother dealing with all that she's dealing with, carrying all that she's carrying, and actively try to put her in the line of more fire by having her respond to a fucking clown? Not to mention that was Don Lemon's entire conversation around Tatum in that very live stream. That Tatum is a clown, that Tatum is outlandish, that Tatum is a fool, that Tatum doesn't even deserve to be acknowledged. But you wanted one of the starring players in this case, which is one of the parents, to give the clown more attention than what you thought he already deserved. I was like, this nigga is really in his motherfucking Wendy Williams bag. Like, this nigga is really chasing the clicks, and he is chasing the motherfucking views, and he is literally losing the plot, and his humanity is being swallowed up. Now, Officer Tatum already had a good thing going because the person that Don Lemon wants to cite as irrelevant is somebody that he was openly using his platform to acknowledge, which only gave Officer Tatum relevancy. It only benefited the person that he's trying to make irrelevant. But then you tried to sell him the closest person to Nolan, which is his own mother. Make that make fucking sense. And nobody really clocked it but me, because everybody already was so polarized by Officer Tatum's angliness that they didn't even clock the fact that Don Lemon tried to set the fucking mama up and tried to bait her ass into giving this nigga content when it was already bad enough that Don was giving his ass content. He should have let D.L. Hughley completely handle that light work, because all of that is an utter fucking distraction. And if Nolan's mother was not emotionally intelligent and wasn't very clear about what her objective is, and that her only focus is uncovering what happened to her son, if she was fragile, if she was egotistical, she would have unfortunately bit the bait. And then this would have been about Nolan Wells' parents versus Tatum, allowing Tatum to once again center this whole thing around him and have it ultimately benefit his public profile. I was literally shocked. So the saxophones were goddamn mid to high level at this point, because I'm just like, what the fuck is Don Lemon doing? What is it doing? What are you doing? We can't even get our syllables right in this case because it's so much damn information coming from every damn which way. It's so much damn commentary. It's so many damn lawsuits, GoFundMes, GoInsane, Snapchats, pictures, videos, AI, audio. The last thing we motherfucking need is giving birth to more fucking distractions, as if we ain't got enough on the damn exhibit table as it is. We're trying to clear the exhibit table so we can get some clarity and centralize this thing. And you up there trying to beef for motherfucking dollars. Okay, so that was the third thing. Or the fourth thing. The fifth thing was the follow-up live he did with other members of the Black Boule and the HBCU blacks, and they were responding to comedian Monique, who was here for Tuskegee University banning durags, bonnets, slippers, and sweatpants while attending class on campus. Now, I was expecting somebody who seemingly is so-called educated, like Don, who has had to tailor his own authenticity by way of a corporate endorsement, who now, feels free and liberated now that he can be himself and he doesn't have to run a program and a script and be a part of other people's agenda, and has all this autonomy and agency as independent media. Somebody who knows how apocalyptic and soul selling respectability politics are, right? I'm expecting him to push back against the respectability politics of Tuskegee University, which is nothing more than an ideology that is birthed out of surviving racism. That's what gave birth to respectability politics. Shucking and jiving is the result of surviving saltine supremacy. So I'm thinking, he about to be liberal as hell. And that he's about to push back against this. He's about to highlight the fact that it ain't no point in y'all banning durags and bonnets when there is legislation, corporate policy on the books right now that allow for corporate America to openly discriminate against black hair. Which is why so many black women in corporate America have to straighten their hair, relax their hair, wear wigs, etc. Have to assimilate to European beauty standards. Because our protective hairstyles and cultural hairstyles are considered inappropriate. No cornrows, no locks, no braids, no bohemian braids. No, none of that. You guys still look like Karen from the neck up. So I'm thinking, the Don, he's gonna, oh no, Don Lemon and the entire fucking panel, aside from one panelist. And the irony is it was the beige nigga on the panel who pushed back on the ban. It was the beige nigga on the panel. Not Don's beigeness, but another beigeness. And he was the only one out of three of them that did not think it was appropriate to make black students who are paying for their education, paying for their tuition, to have to adhere to the ridiculous respectability politics of this kind when it still misses the normer, and it does not do anything for actually educating about the actual systemic racism that they're going to face, being black in corporate America, even without a do-rag, even without a goddamn bonnet, and does not do anything to resolve the issue of the fact that they're going to discriminate against what's under the fucking bonnet and what's under the goddamn do-rag. It was a shallow point of focus. Tuskegee University had their own per capita in mind. They didn't mind having these students shuck and jive for the sake of kissing, salting corporate America's ass, which was also shocking that HBCU would be that deftone too, and that motherfucking uneducated, and would actually encourage their students to align with the system, when that literally contradicts the whole purpose of HBCUs. We wouldn't need HBC motherfucking U's and black affirming fucking spaces if this country saw no color, if systemic racism was not a fucking thing. So the audacity for black students and a black university that has to exist so that black intellectuals and black educators and black talent can have an equal shot in this system, to tell them to do the complete opposite, which is to bow down to the motherfucking system. How can you have an HBCU and perpetuate respectability politics all at the same goddamn time? Yeah, thank you for Clay the beige nigga on the panel. Clay was the only one who had some sense about himself. So now the saxophone was on fire. The saxophone was on motherfucking fire for me. Now once again, this is where I began to get sad. Because, you know, I never watched Dawn as consistently as I did the past maybe 2 weeks because of the Nolan Wells coverage. Before that, you know, it was every now and again. But it was enough of a every now and again. But you know, sometimes when you just lock in too long and you watch people too consistently, baby, that's when you start to see all the dirty ass nooks and crevices of their bullshit. Then we topped the cake by this recent interview that Don Lemon had with one of Nolan Wells' friends. Okay, which is Mr. Emmanuel here on the screen. Mr. Emmanuel apparently done cut Nolan Wells' hair, known him since he was a child, etc. He's an Ocean Springs alum. Baby, I wanted to throw my laptop out of the goddamn window. Okay? This conversation ended up being about all or nothing and ended up being a goddamn versus match between Don Lemon and Emmanuel about whether racism still does or does not exist in 2026 version of America, girl. Because Mr. Emmanuel was there to champion behind Mississippi, girl, and how Mississippi has outgrown and evolved from its past, and how Mississippi is not racist, and it's one of the most ethnic, diverse places on earth, girl. You might as well call Mississippi the goddamn crater of life at this point. There's Hispanics and Latinos and everybody swapping and fucking and married and co-creating together, that racism is not a thing. And it was a conversation that had nothing to do with Nolan Wells, on top of, even prior to them getting to this speed bump, there was nothing relevant or of use regarding what Emmanuel had to bring to the table. He don't know any more than what the fuck we know. He didn't really have any more key evidence He didn't have any more breaking motherfucking news than anybody else has had. He's scratching his ass and getting diabetes on his goddamn couch trying to crack this case like every goddamn body else. And it made me think about what is the point? Like, you didn't vet this nigga before you had him on to waste 50 minutes of our goddamn brain cells? Like, come to find out, because I watched Don Lemon's show earlier today, he didn't vet the nigga. He wanted to quote unquote have a raw conversation because that's how he generally likes to run his platforms, is he likes to go in flying by the seat of his motherfucking pants. Once again, I think this is completely wildly inappropriate. He's the same motherfucker saying that there's too much information out there. He's pressing on the Mississippi authorities to do their job in organizing some of this shit so that we can dispel and debunk and have a filter system to vet through all of the shit that's coming out every single day. But here it is, you just interviewing any and every goddamn body just for the hell of it, bringing in people who ain't got shit to offer and shit to motherfucking say. And then he had to end up doing a second damn live stream just to apologize for that live stream. And I'm just like, y'all, I'm a Scorpio. I don't have but so much patience with nobody, bitch. I'm the breakup queen, bitch. I'll break up with a motherfucking friend, a nigga, baby, and a mother, baby. I don't got but so much fucking patience. And once I start seeing you slip and slide, girl, like you Trina and Trick Daddy and Silk the motherfucking Shaka for Slip and Slide Records, girl. Once I see you being a full-time employee, girl, for the Slip and Slide Records, girl. Once you start making me dizzy, I'm out. I'm out. Once you start making me dizzy and dazzled, bitch, I's got to go. So at this point, I don't know how I feel about Don. I think I'm going to have to put Don on the sick and the goddamn shut-in list. Don just seems to really be chasing the algorithm at this goddamn point. It's already bad enough that Officer Tatum had exposed his ass for being at that YouTube conference and apparently was trying to chase the coin, and he's out here saying this ain't about the motherfucking money. And once again, ain't nothing wrong with being about the coin. But when you make them type of declarations and shit, you better make sure that that's how you motherfucking living. Because then you're going to have Officer Tatum get out here, girl, and give the Carfax. I don't like the way Don has been moving. I think he's losing a plot. I think he's getting caught the fuck up. It's starting to feel performative. And this was my other issue. He sat in front of Emmanuel. Oh, why? Oh, racism. Trying to debunk the shit out of Emmanuel. And I'm thinking to myself, Don, you are not the revolutionary ass Negro for this particular job with Emmanuel, because you're sitting there married to a descendant of your oppressor. And it's interesting that you're sitting there trying to debunk that racism doesn't exist, and that racism is alive and well, and that racism is both overt and covert, as he made that very clear to Emmanuel. That racism is beyond just calling somebody the N-word, etc. It can smile in your face. He was debunking this whole shit Emmanuel was saying about interracial fucking and how that's a sign that white people are not racist. And I'm just like, well, if this is what you're saying to Emmanuel, how is it that you debunk the racism in your own partner? If it can be argued that just because a white person will marry you, a white person will co-create with you, a white person will be an in-law to you, if you're saying that white people can still hold racist ideology, because we know that something called tokenism and exceptionalism exists, then it made me curious to know what his vetting process was then for his own non-black mate. How did he get to the bottom of understanding that his partner does not hold any type of racist posturing? Because the way that Don Lemon performs blackness, you would think that he loves blackness and champions blackness in such a way that it would have allowed his ass to marry into blackness as well, and to allow blackness to pick up on any generational and to inherit any generational wealth that has come from his own success. You would think that as proud and blackity black as Don Lemon likes to perform, let him tell it, girl, that all of that pro-nigga just call Don Lemon Don Umar Johnson, girl, Don Luther King in this bitch. You would think that, baby, with all that motherfucking sweet R&B shit you talking to me about blackness and understanding the system and racism, that you would be anti-respectability politics instead of pro-respectability politics, and that you would have loved your blackness enough to want to see and come home to blackness in the form of your spouse. Because while love is not a choice, relationships are. You get to choose, bitch, ultimately who you walk down that aisle with. So, you know, no, I don't do super chat because YouTube take 30% of what y'all send, but you can send in any of your monetary love to Cash App and PayPal on the screen, and thank you in advance, my love, because the cane do be working. Thank you, babes. So you know, I'm irritated with Don. Don's gonna have to go on the sick and shut in list. I'm trying to hold on. I'm like, but if I tap out now, I can have time to recover and maybe come back later. If I hold on, he gonna be on that sick and shut in list for good. So I think I'm gonna put Don ass on ice. Yeah, there is something not authentic, and it may not be something that's really naked to the eye, because most people are not authentic. Most people are conformists and go along to get along and seek social validation. But truly authentic people can see the subtleties of the inauthenticity. I can see the performance, even when he thinks he's eating that shit. I'm like, girl, this is definitely artificially flavored blackness. This is artificially flavored blackness. I can see subtleties within the grift of it all. I can see the plastic. No paper. But, you know, even a broke clock can be right twice a day, right? Even somebody faking the part can still be useful to a degree. Okay? So, that's why I'm trying to hold on. Because I'm just like, you know, everybody ain't going to be perfect. Everybody ain't going to be able to be for real about this thing. Sometimes it's not even always necessary for people to be for real. If you're doing the right thing, even if it's for your own gain, ultimately, others still benefit from that. Now, once again, that fake it until you make it shit, those kind of people can only be of use to a degree. But we got so many very little people on the field right now that, you know, we gotta take what we can work with. So it doesn't bother me enough to be like total rejection of Don Lemon, but I'm clear. I'm clear. It's not completely working on me. But it also makes sense for Don to have a level of facade and fakeness and inauthenticity to himself, because he's had the code switch for so long as a passable Negro. He's had to work in predominant commercial corporate spaces where he's had to tailor it back. He's had to learn how to adapt. He's had to learn how to master the art of not being himself. And he spent a long time having to live that way. And even though he's free, it's clear to me Don is not entirely free. He still has a lot of dismantling to do. Once again, baby, he got to really unpack them goddamn respectability politics. That was crazy work. That right there told me everything I need to know about where his work is and is not. And the fact that he still got more growing to do as a person. So, that's my thing with Don Lemon. It's getting weird. I'm going to put him on a sick and shut in list. Put him on ice for a little bit. I need to recover. I'll probably circle the block at some point in time. All right? Let's get into Nolan Wells. Because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. What's going on, Nurse Moonshine? Hold on. And I just Facebook always kick my ass out. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull Ben Crump's shit up again. Nolan Wells' mother is being assaulted right now professionally. People are trying to get her disbarred. People are leaving her bad reviews as a medical provider. All of this is the response to her asking questions about her son, what happened to her baby. All right? There was an entire press conference held. Let's go to Ben Crump's Facebook page. Okay. Ben Crump posted this 20 hours ago. 1 month ago, Christine Wells Wasley lost her son, Nolan. Now someone is trying to take her license anonymously without the courage to put a name on it. This is intimidation. This is a warning shot meant to silence a grieving mother who is simply asking what happened to her child. We will not let it stand. Christine serves her patients for years without a single complaint to the board. The only thing that changed is that she started asking questions. No family should have to fight this battle while burying their child. We will keep demanding the facts until Christine knows how her son died. All right, so there was a board investigation that was initially open to get to the bottom of these claims. I am positively reporting that that investigation has been closed, thank God, and that the board will not be taking any of these complaints serious in lieu of the fact that Christine had a crystal clean record prior to the loss of her son, and all of this is obviously an attack on her business and her livelihood. So that investigation has been killed. All right. Which is why it's very interesting that Emmanuel is, fighting to make the public understand that Mississippi is not racist. Because what is all of that if racist doesn't exist anymore? Why are people assaulting Christine Wells, who has not incriminated anybody? She just wants answers around how her son, who knows how to swim, who was a star athlete, who has been to Horn Island for the second time and went out there with 30 of his friends at an island that had about 4,000 gatherers and partygoers, didn't make it home with everybody else. She ain't say nobody did anything. She just said, what happened to my son? Why did my son wash up on Horn Island shores 3 days after he went out there and celebrated with 30 of his motherfucking friends? She's being attacked as if she unalived some goddamn body. She's being attacked as if her son unalived some goddamn body. Anyway, there's been also a new timeline that has been developed by United Cajun Navy, who has put together an extensive report detailing and chronicling what happened as it relates to Nolan Wells' initial appearances to the last appearances. It is a very technical report. There's a lot of GPS this, a lot of boating language, but these people have this report, baby. They got it layered, baby. They got coordinates and degrees for days, okay? And what we learned from this extensive, well-organized, factually presented report is ultimately nothing. We've learned nothing, okay? The biggest takeaway from the motherfucking report was Nolan Wells was not seen anymore by 7:30. When the last few boaters pulled off of the island, nobody had seen Nolan Wells at that point. They had not seen him on land. They had not seen him in the water. They had not seen him canoodling with a girl. They had not seen him with friends. We still don't know what happened to Nolan. Now, Officer Tatum interviewed Mr. Emmanuel as well. And Mr. Officer Tatum has continued to double down and reiterate the fact that everything he has seen and everything that has been shown to him clears the boys, Nolan Wells' friends, of any wrongdoing. He says that even the text messages from Katie McCormick to one of Warren's friends corroborates that, because within that text message, apparently she says and acknowledges that he never got on the boat with his friends, despite what Katie McCormick's sister is saying on her behalf. Now, it is weird that Katie hasn't come out publicly with the statement, but her sister is windmilling and attempting to distance her sister from all of this. And maybe the reason why Katie ass refuses to officially step into the group chat is because there are text messages that contradict the narrative that her sister Gracie is attempting to paint on her behalf. If that text message is true, and it's real, which is what I find to be so strange, because Officer Tatum presented Warren's stepmother's text message to Nolan Wells' mother. Why aren't the rest of the things that Officer Tatum is expecting us to take his word for not something that he is proving, since he's claiming that these things actually exist? Why don't we have the text message from Katie McCormick? Why? Why did you not ask the boys, hey, can I screenshot this? Can you text this over to me? I would like to use my platform to put out as much objective information as possible. That's the whole point of why I have y'all on and da-da-da-da-da. Why are we having to take your word for it? There are things that Officer Tatum just wanted to take his word for. Which, considering how high the stakes are here, considering that this is an investigation that can lead to a criminal case, since this will be brought before a grand jury, I don't think Officer Tatum is per se lying. I don't think he would fuck up his credibility to that degree. I don't think he would commit perjury by claiming that there are things that exist that actually do not, as it relates to this case. So I'm leaning more so toward taking his word for it, but if you had the physical luxury of actually seeing this evidence, why don't you have a digital copy of these things? And why have these things not been provided to the public? Why is Warren sitting in an interview talking about a text message that he could have very well prepared to have when he sat down with Officer Tatum in that interview, if this was about the facts, if this was about self-defense, if this was about taking the smoke and the heat off of them? So the Officer Tatum side is not doing a really good job, in my opinion, of also presenting the information objectively. Anything that we can see and hear for ourselves, we should be able to do that. I don't want to hear about so-called evidence. I don't want to hear about a so-called text. I don't want to hear about a so-called call log where, oh, well, I saw some of the parents reached out to Nolan Wells' mother. I saw the call logs. I don't want to hear so-called. All that's alleged and speculative. So as much as Officer Tatum is trying to raise hell about being grump, how he should be handling representing the Nolan Wells family, Officer Tatum, his motherfucking self, need to be living up to the same standard of objectivity and fact-finding and fact-presenting as he's raising for other key players in this case. Because both sides are kind of missing the mark. And let me also say this while I'm at it, bitch, because that's just how 100 I feel like being today. Going back to Mr. Emmanuel, oh, I ain't even got him up here no more. The guy that Don Lemon and Officer Tatum interviewed, the friend of Nolan Wells. Oh, we got a flash flood warning, my God. Guess what, y'all? The parents done came out and apparently said they don't know that nigga either. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Nolan's parents done pulled this, I don't know Warren. Well, Nolan knows Nolan. That's for damn sure. Or I don't know Tristan. Tristan damn sure knows Nolan. Now it's, we don't know him, man. I'm sick of it. At this point, they about to make me ask, bitch, is Nolan adopted? Because how y'all ain't never met none of these motherfucking people that he done been to Horn Island with twice, done vacation with, go to school with, on the football team with, that he all over social media with, and y'all don't know Nobody is Nolan Wells adopted at this point. At this point, I don't even want the parents to even, don't even bother addressing the question of, do you know these people? Because everything is getting motherfucking weird to me, baby. I don't understand. It's frustrating. Both sides make you want to scratch your ass in some way. It's too much going on. And what made them let him go with the people they don't know? That's what I'm saying. It don't make sense. This was Nolan's second year going to Horn Island, which means that hold on, let me see something. Let me see something. He was 18 years old. That means that he was 17 when he went last year. So y'all telling me that y'all don't know the people who are traveling across a huge ass body of water, who traveling 10 miles across a huge ass body of water onto a remote island with. And once again, I don't know if Nolan Wells' parents think that it's a flex, that they don't know any of the people that clearly know their fucking son. I mean, he was literally with these people, for God's sakes. I don't know what that's about. I don't know about Officer Tatum done seen evidence that he won't physically present. I don't know why this extensive report was done, given that it don't clear up a motherfucking thing. United Cajun Navy got just as many goddamn questions even after compiling this extensive goddamn report. They cannot objectively conclude when Nolan Wells was last seen. They know he wasn't seen, at the very least, by 7:30. Nobody had seen him. But they still can't determine whether he was still on that boat if he was on the island after the friends left, or if he left with the friends. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. At this point, I'm going to keep my particular eye out on the objective. That I really just want to take in actual key evidence. I really don't want to entertain anything that just creates more speculation. That's really all that we have, and all that we have here. Nancy Grace corroborated the enhanced audio by having her engineers do it. Ben Crump also came forward and alleged that the audio is authentic. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, child. I've heard that he wasn't even living with them, which makes sense to me in terms of why the hell they'll know nobody. But then again, Tristan said that he used to pick Nolan Wells up from school. So at some point he was living with his parents throughout his high school tenure. I don't know if he stayed living with them, if the last year of school he, was staying elsewhere, but, at some point he was living there. So, that's where we are with it, child. More questions. We'll see what the grand jury does. And I'll keep you guys informed. We got, let me see here, baby. We got a lot of other shit to get into, child.
Help from spirit guides just made.
Hold on. I done clicked on somebody damn random ass live stream. We gotta get into some Neo. We gotta get into some Shamal. We gotta get into some Andy Cohen's and Nene. We gotta get into, hold on, some Itch Trim and Bunna B, Miss Diddy, Miss Tina Campbell. Oh, there's a lot going on, my goodness. Today, we gotta get into some Trina. Oh, yes. So, I'll see you guys later. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Thumbs up, share. If you guys get any updates on the Nolan Wells case and there's something that's like, something that matters happens, email me at Consciouztv@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram at Consciouztv. You can always DM me all pertinent information. I love you all. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you guys in a few. Peace.